Hey pizza dogs, Z here, your guide through the concrete jungles of City Skylines. Welcome back to another episode of our beginner-friendly series, Vanilla Vista. In today's adventure, we'll be creating a breathtaking national park, adding some serious suburban charm, and brace yourselves because we're finally building a sunken highway for our dazzling downtown expansion, all within the restrictions of completely vanilla City Skylines. I also want to mention this video is a bit longer than usual because we go into lots of detail for how to do some pretty complicated vanilla techniques, so feel free to skip around if you already know the ropes. As always, I appreciate all the time you invested in my content. Now buckle up and get ready to witness some city building magic unfold before your eyes. Together, we'll make this city the best it can be. Without further ado, let's jump right into the action. Welcome to episode 5 of Vanilla Vista. So here we are in Vanilla Vista where we left off on the last episode. We have about 5 million in the bank. We're making really good income from all our industry. We have about 12,000 citizens and we have a pretty high demand right now for residential, which we will take care of some of that this episode. One thing though I want to start out with is I want to build out a national park here. This I think will be really good for this area right here. We're going to put some suburbs around it. Then we're going to kind of start working on some of the downtown. This was a great idea by a community member, Sands Like the Beach, who mentioned this on Discord and thought, hey, that's a great idea. So let's do that. So the first thing you do when you're building out the park, this is obviously part of the Parks DLC that you'll need, is we're gonna build out just the zoning area. So for now, I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger than I need it to be. And then from here, kind of like what we've been doing with the industry, we're gonna go to our Parks tab, find the Nature Reserve National Park, and we're gonna find the main gate. My thinking is we're gonna put it right over here. We're gonna do some cool terraforming stuff as well in this one. I'll plop that right there. And we now have our first park. Awesome. In honor of Sands, we're gonna name the park after him for his great idea. What I like to do now, before I start doing some terraforming, is I'm gonna outline the whole area with all the different entrances. So we have our main gate here, and we're gonna put some side gates in for people to enter the park from other areas. So I'm gonna put one over here. And then I'm also going to build out a fence to go wrap around here. So we're going to bring the fence all the way around. Okay, now with our outline, we can start building some pathways. So I'm going to use just the nature preserve path. And what I'm going to do is just kind of make very miscellaneous connections. Actually, you know what? Also, I'm going to do another side entrance on this side too, just so we have an entrance on all the sides. Perfect. My thinking is we're going to build this in a way that it assumes that this used to be there. So there's different ways to build your cities, right? You can build it in a way that terraforms to the land as if the city was building around that. So like assuming that like, hey, this lake was always here and we built around it. That's kind of what we did over here. But in this case, like we're going to assume this park was here originally and then we built around it instead of like realistically, you wouldn't ever build up a giant national park in like flat land like this. That's just not how that would work. So there's just kind of different ways you want to approach it. This is somewhat unrealistic in that sense, but it's however you want to approach it basically. There's no right or wrong way, whatever kind of story you want to make for your own city. So I'm going to do some terraforming here to. We have plenty of money. It's expensive, but we have plenty of money, so I think it'll be fine. But I'm going to basically make some different hills and stuff for hiking, different areas like that. So that's kind of what I'm going to do right now. Using the different tools here, whether up, this is lifting the elevation, and this is kind of flattening it to that height. Might do a few different little ramps. Maybe something like that. I think that's pretty nice. And then we can do some more terraforming around that. Again, kind of helps just to get our base paths in there, some walking paths for people to be in. So I'll leave some flat areas for like some different park amenities, but for now I'm gonna have this. So I think this is a pretty solid path. Maybe one that goes right over the top there. I think that makes sense. Might also smooth this out just a little bit. So again, you gotta trust the process. It looks a little bit weird right now. But then once we add that, now we can start adding other amenities. So for example, we have some little campfire sites. So now that looks pretty nice. So obviously the biggest thing we're missing for a park is trees. So now we're gonna use our forest brush to fill that all in. So this is where the fun kind of comes in. It starts to look like an actual park. So we're literally just gonna fill this in. And again, you'd have to do this by hand if you're not on PC with the brush, but that's okay, it's not terrible. If you're on console, you can just plop these down by hand. Another thing we might do is add in a rock feature. Another cool thing we can even do is we can use our vegetation here to hide some of these different areas and make it feel like it's kind of higher brush. Add some variety, make it feel a little bit more unique. Again, the rocks are a great feature, so you can kind of layer these. Certain assets you can layer like this and other ones you can't, so that's okay. So yeah, and then again, we can kind of go in and just fill in with more trees, just on little areas like this. Yeah, this feels like a nice little park, right? Another thing we can actually do too is you can mix other assets in here too. So here's like a fire tower. So we can put that over right here on the edge. Make it feel like a lookout for fires. It's kind of nice. I think also we're gonna have a little bit of overflow parking over here. That makes sense to have some little parking lot on the other side. And to make it feel like it's tied in, we can add in a little fence around it like so. And then a part of that, I think this is going to get really busy here. So let's go ahead and actually upgrade this to be a roundabout. I think that makes more sense for this area. We're going to start to see a lot more traffic around here. So let's do that. Okay, cool. I think that'll help a lot. So that'll help the flow of all this not get congested once we have more traffic come into our park. While that levels up, I want to do a few other just little miscellaneous cleanup things that we hadn't done yet. So I'm going to upgrade all this rural area to be paved roads instead of dirt roads. The other thing I want to do, I kind of had a few ideas. Well, first off, we're probably overproducing as far as like trucks and even oil and stuff goes over here. So I'm going to clean up some of this and get rid of every other pumping station. Also going to migrate some of these other oil pumping stations to the other side, help alleviate some of the traffic flow. Another thing I thought of, it's kind of a fun thing you can do. I'm going to pause this and delete some of these connections here. Is we can actually add, so trucks are forced to go in here, right? So both a way to like make some money and to get some cool, like, it'll basically look like a like an entrance to industrial areas. We're gonna put in a toll road. So I'll show you here. This is kind of a neat way to make this look connected. So we're gonna bring this, we're gonna bring the price up because they're gonna be forced to go in there anyway. So it's a kind of a nice little way to make some extra side money. We go to city planning on our policies. We can turn on the automated toll. So basically we lose a little bit of our money from the toll, but it makes it so we don't have to stop. So now with that, we have this kind of toll here. Let me make sure this is all connected with our... And then basically you'll see here, we'll make some money off of this. And it just like looks a little bit nicer. It kind of, again, makes it feel like it's going into like an area that's maybe zoned off for the public not to be able to get to the prison, to get to this oil area. So I think that will help a lot. And then again, by limiting some of our production here, I think this is going to help overall with there's not enough buyers, as well as we get more commercial. Those will help out. Okay, so now the big fun begins. Everything people have been asking for, starting our downtown. So basically this whole area is going to be our downtown. I'm kind of starting to think about what this is going to be. My thinking is we're going to have kind of a downtown, maybe a little bit of medium density right here as you bleed into a heavier density. And then I think we're going to have an airport over here. So I think what my thinking is we're going to extend this highway out. I've kind of played around with a few different ideas and I've come up with my solution of using a cool sunken highway. This was going to be really neat. I think this is going to be a cool little build. I'm not the best with intersections or highways, so we're going to have to kind of like learn together as we do this. So I'm going to try my best to go through the steps to do this completely vanilla and to get us a really cool sunken highway with some cool bridges and stuff. I think it'll give this flat area a little bit more unique feel to it rather than what we have right now. So to start off, I think we're just going to cut back and kill these roads in this roundabout that we already have. So that we just start off with our flat land. And then what we're going to do is using the level tool, let's get this all leveled out to be perfect level. So I'm going to grab right here and then just start leveling all this out. Basically, you want this whole area flat for this, and then we'll show you the whole process. Now with this leveled out, we're going to go at about 12 units. So we're going to go about 12 units out. And then we're going to make a perpendicular road out 20 each direction from there. We're going to go 3 just to mark where that road would normally be. So we can even make that connection now. Okay, so with that done, we kind of now have the idea of where where our sunken area is going to go. So we have to basically put in a bunch of measurements here, and then we're going to go through the technique of how you, in vanilla, you can kind of get sunken queues, key walls and everything. So what we're going to do now is get our terrain tool, and we're going to right at the edge here, we're going to go down about 12-ish meters. So if you don't know, it's a little bit harder to tell. Let me kind of get a different area here. When you're doing elevation, there is somewhat of measurements to this. So for example, you can kind of see the little bit lighter lines. Here, let me pull it back up. So you can kind of see there's a light in here and a little bit lighter. That's about 10 units. So we're gonna go right about 13, 14-ish, give or take right about here, I think is the level we want. So this area, yeah, that's about 13, 14 down. So what we're gonna do now is do a hard edge there. And then just straight out as far as we want to go. Get this area flattened to the lower elevation. Again, this will kind of make sense. It's a little bit of a weird process to do this in vanilla. Obviously in modded world, it's a little bit faster and easier, but I'll show you the whole technique here in vanilla. Starting here at the lower elevation with that guideline there, we're going to go at about, I don't know, let's say about 110. I think it's a good. Yeah, it's probably about good at that elevation. Okay. And let's make sure we use, and just to be, yeah, we'll use the highways here to show it. So we're going to go out 110. And we're going to have some on and off ramps. So let's now do at the first marker here. So I think it's about 12 units out. We're going to go to this right here. And then we're going to go about, let's see here, about 86 to this, yeah, marker here. Perfect. We're going to do that on both sides. So we have that lined up. And then we can kind of, basically what we'll have is like we have this 8 curve back in. These are gonna be the walls that go up, or the exits that go up out. And now with that, now that we have like our spacing, what we need to do is bring this terrain back in. So to level back off to this, we're gonna then bring this in. And this where you can try to be as careful as you want. You want a little bit of space in between this and that. So try your best to, you want to keep it kind of tight like this. It also helps. There's another technique we can actually try to do too, make it a little bit easier. So it's like goes like out like about 7. Okay. So let's have that marker there. I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a second. I think this was about 100. Perfect. Okay. So that's good. Our whole length is about 100. So let's do the other side now. Again, we went out about 10 from there. They're great markers that we all have. Okay. And then now it helps to, if we then go back to this, we can kind of bring this a little bit closer up to here to have that wall. This helps get that more of a straight line with having those roads there as a barrier. I want to get this as straight as we can get it here. Helps make it, it's a lot easier. So now this is kind of where the fun comes in. So the trickery here is what we need to do is flood this whole area. So what we're going to do is using the water tool, we can use our poop water, drain water here. We're going to put one on both sides. And this one, we need to connect to those and then connect it to our water supply. And then we're going to go 3 speed to let this fill up with water and poop. Now with this area flooded, we should be able to now use our key walls. So in water sources are key walls here. We're gonna get this to line up with right here and go all the way down. What is this, 100? Yeah, 100 units. Perfect. We should see the wall there. You know what, actually, I kind of want to bring this a little bit closer. I want it a little bit tighter. So let's just do a little bit of terraforming to bring this in a little bit further. Let's try again with this a little tighter now and see. Yeah, that looks nicer. I'm gonna clean this up, I'll show you. Cool, so we have about 2 up. It looks like this side might be a little bit closer. So let's bring this one in a little bit closer to match. And again, some of this is this fickling here is just kind of how it works. It's not going to be perfect. We kind of try to do our best, especially in vanilla. So this technique may take a few tries. Just got to be patient and then trust the process. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so now we can delete our water. Now that we have our key walls in. And then what we can do is we can then drain that water. So let's get rid of all these pipes. And we're going to drain our water. The key on this one for the pumping station is very, 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 very important. Is do not connect this water because you're pumping the water up and you do not want to connect this to your city. If you connect it to your city, you're going to add poop water to your city. Very, very bad idea. So do not connect it, just connect these two in their own little private network and it'll start to, you don't even need electricity, you'll see here. It just starts to pump it all up. So we want to get all this water out of here so this is no longer flooded. Then once it's connected, you can get rid of those. So again, fill all the water and then get rid of those pipes. And now, at a very basic level, we have our sunken highway, which is very awesome. So now we're going to have some fun with doing some bridges across and then the exit I was kind of describing. So what we're going to do now is we're a little too close with this. So let's go out about, let's see here, figure out what the right, we want about a whole zoning tile. Yeah. So, okay, so that is three further than what we were at. So let's go do that. I'll go out by 10. So in this one, again, I'm going to go out 3. We're just a little too close. And 10. So now let's start to divide this whole section up of how we're going to have these like ramps and stuff to go over. I'm going to try to start to go up by about 12 units. Let's do 12. Oh, that's 13. Let's do 12 and up. So now we know that's their middle. So we have our units spaced across. So our main road is basically going to be where the exit is and where we have the on and off ramps. So now we have our grid here and then our middle little sections will be perfect. We might be able to space a little bit more of this out, but this will be a great place to start building our ramps now. So now we want to build our bridges across. So the way we're going to do this, it's kind of an interesting technique as well. Let's find the middle one, the widest one we have. I'm going to turn off all of our angles except for our snapping, except for our angle. Go up to 3, get as close as we can to this marker. And then we're going to bring it up. This is the part you have to kind of find the sweet spot. So you want to try to find the level angle. So I think that's about right, about 18 meters it looks like that's across. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So go by 3, get as close as we can, bring it across. I think that looks good. We might need to adjust that later, but that will look good. Okay, so now that we have that, we can now upgrade it. I think my plan is we are going to use, I think we're going to use the 6-lane monorail. I think in the middle of this road is going to have a monorail that goes throughout our whole city and public transportation that goes all the way down to the airport. So let's upgrade this road to be, actually, you know what? I forgot to, because we're going to do the off-ramp, let's do that first before we upgrade. Okay, so here's the next kind of trick we're going to do. So let's measure this out. So let's go out about, let's get back to ground level. So let's go out about, that's 14. Let's go all the way up to 26. So like right here. Okay. So knowing that marker here, let's make a mark. We're going to delete. So all these at our second one. We're going to now switch to our highway, and then we're going to build right there, and we're going to go down to 3. Let's go up to 20. Try to find the angle that looks nice. We'll go right to 20. Maybe 18, 19? Yeah, 19 is good. So go right about there to get that smooth slope. And we'll do the same on the other side. Now we can kind of get rid of these little connectors. We can also upgrade these roads to be the right direction. And we might pull these in a little bit more, but for now it'll be fine. Okay, so this will be going that way. So now with this upgraded, we can now take our 6-lane monorail track. And actually, to make this smoother, we can actually get rid of these little two nodes here. And just, oh, wrong button. Here, and just connect it and have a nice little smooth transition there. And if we did this right, yeah, we keep those nice right in the middle there. So that's really, really good looking. And then, so that's our on and off ramp on there. And now we'll do a few other bridges across. So my thinking is we'll have like one, maybe skip every other, it'll be nice. So let's do the same technique that we did over there. So you go right to the edge, go up about 3. And then you have to find the little sweet spot, but you got to go up. Maybe over here helps a little bit to find right there. And then you go up to, let's see, was it 18 that we decided? That's smooth, yep. Nice, so now we have a bunch of bridges across. Looks really good. Obviously now we want to upgrade. One thing that we can use is this really cool bridges and piers content creator pack. And we can make some more unique bridges. I think this kind of is a fun way. See if we can get these upgraded properly. We might need to go a little bit further back. Sometimes these are a little finicky. We'll see. Okay, or maybe it's the wrong one that I'm picking. They're a bit finicky, but if you just tweak it, keep playing around with it, you'll get it like I kind of did there. So you'll kind of eventually get it across. So that gives us a nice cooler bridge from underneath there. So I think we'll do that one on that style. Maybe every other. So maybe we'll do that one on this one style as well. Looks like it might just need to go up a little bit higher than the other one. Using our bridges and piers content creator pack, this kind of gives us cool, more unique bridges than what we normally get. So I'm thinking maybe we're gonna have these ones be tram on the outer. So, and let's do maybe bicycle. Or no, sorry, these will be monorail on the outer like this. So that way we can do a whole loop with our whole monorail system. Basically, we have a bunch of bridges across, so help with traffic, and then we have that one exit in the middle. Now, to finish up our connections here. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of these placeholders. We're gonna then cut these back to where that ends. And then using our slope tool, we can do is slope the terrain up to this height. To give us a nice gradual smooth connection here. And now what we also want to do is have some on and off ramps, not just so we don't have just one on and off ramp. Let's do another connection here on the side at the edges. So let's do a smooth tool, smooth this out a little bit on the edge. And then let's kind of get some measurements. I think what we'll do is we'll go out by like, let's see, what's the distance here? About 13. All right, so let's go out 5, 5, 5, 5, something like that. Their slope. So 5, 5, 5, 5. Now we can make our little connection. Let's do it like, do it at 7. Now we'll have connections there at the edges. Basically, we have 3 on and off ramps right in the middle, and then 1 on each end. We should also probably double check our lane math on here. So for example, let's make this a, let's also do, since we're gonna be near like a lot of residential down here, let's do sound barriers. So we'll do 3 and 3. So that way 3 are coming in. I think then what we'll do is we'll split. Yeah, we'll keep those at, we'll just do 3 across like that. Yeah, that might be good. So we'll just do, and then we'll do 2 with barriers in the middle. Switch back to 3. Fantastic. And we could probably do that to get a dedicated turn. Yeah, that will get us a dedicated turn out. Okay. And then for now, what we'll do is we'll just end these highways off. Eventually, they're going to keep going off that direction, but we don't have that tile unlocked yet. So let's just go out like 5, 5, and then we can just use like a dirt road to, well, what's actually, cool. And now obviously what we want to do on top of this is upgrade some of these dirt roads. So I think what we'll do is looking at our one-ways. I think what we'll do is we'll have a one-way system going in and then out. So again, just to help with traffic flow, because this is going to end up being a very high density and busy area. We might even end up making this a one-way. We can kind of see how traffic flows, but those might end up being one-ways. Like it might, do we have a one? Oh, actually we don't know if we have a one-way. Oh no, because we have the special bridge. So maybe these could potentially be one-ways. I don't know if we have a one-way with a monorail. I don't think they exist. And just for now, for kicks, we'll just bring this all the way across to kind of signify that that's where that route is going to go. And then what we can kind of do to finish detailing our whole sunken highway here is just do some stuff like getting the curve tool out, kind of make this a little bit nicer, bring all this out so look better. To help sell our like whole sunken highway here, it looks a little bit weird with grass in there. It's kind of not how this would look in a very urban area. So I want to kind of quickly show you a cool technique if you have the airports DLC that we can kind of get. One of the coolest features that's kind of hidden away in there is we're not actually going to build our airport yet, but for temporarily purposes, we're going to put down our airport area, and then we're just going to plop down a airport terminal just so we can quickly press play, and then we're going to unlock the basics of an airport. So again, we're going to pause it after that, and then we can immediately get rid of this whole area actually too. So again, we just need to unlock that. And now that we go to our airports area, we unlock these awesome aprons, which is basically a concrete decoration. So what we can do now, which is kind of cool, is we're going to do this. So you'll see in there, it's kind of hard. It might take a little bit of finagling to get the right angles. We might even have to play around with deleting some of these things to put down there, but we can basically plop down So now we have this really nice kind of middle green area. What we can do is put just some bushes down in the middle section. So that looks really nice going across. Look at that, really nice highway, off and ons. One's maybe a little bit low. That's okay. And now we can now cover up some of these corners to make this look a little bit nicer. I also think while we're in here, let's also add in the sound barriers for this area. I think that will make sense. That should help that. So now we have a really awesome downtown structure here. This is gonna be really nice. It's gonna start to come together real sweet. So we're gonna press play again. We kind of had this game on pause for most of this episode. We need to start leveling up our park. And now I think on top of that, we should start to build out a few more neighborhoods. Our residential is still very high. So I'm thinking we'll have a few residential areas here by the park. And then we'll kind of start laying out more of our downtown after that. Now that we have our road network here and our water, we can start placing down housing. So I'm going to do zone kind of certain areas so it's not too close to all that shopping or the highway per se. Like maybe some of this area might not be zoned fully. And I probably should add a few parks and stuff for people and a little basketball court here underneath. That should help with that demand here. We might also even do is make a little, we could do a little path that goes over the highway to go back and forth for people in the residents. That'd be nice. Let's do that. So you can kind of see, one thing that I think a lot of people forget is different pathways have these different like view or like looks at as far as when they're on heights, when they're leveled up, or sorry, what's the right word? Elevated up. So, see here's like a regular pathway, and then the dirt path kind of has more of like a kind of a cool like wooden structure. The campus ones have a little bit more of like a, I don't know, maybe more of an urban look to them. These ones, these park life amusement ones have a really nice look to them. It's different ones. I think, yeah, these ones have a little more overgrown. So that's kind of cool. So there's different looks you can always do. Just make a note of that. I think for now we'll just do a regular path. And awesome, we hit our first milestone with our park. So let's add some of these viewing decks and camping areas. That'd be nice. We'll keep it playing for that. And I think we're already, yeah, we have enough entertainment to get to the next level, so we just gotta wait for more visitors. That'd be great. Again, kind of like what we did over there, I think I'm gonna get rid of, we're gonna redo this highway once we can buy that tile here soon, so let's just get rid of that for now. And then I think I have the idea of, again, it's not like we did over there. We're going to use the content creator packs to get a cooler looking bridge here. I think that will look a lot nicer. Let's see which options we have. And then we can use our asymmetrical roads that we have to also give us a better traffic flow in here. I don't love our power plants being right next to a park, so let's also move that. We're just basically just doing some little small tweaking while things level up. Or we're going to need a lot of residential. We might need to start building out residential over here. I'm kind of watching, trying to watch some of these areas, or maybe even continue to build out residential out here. That actually probably makes most sense, where we already kind of have some. So let's get some more going on in here. Our water seems to be looking a little low, so let's go ahead and also beef that up a little bit. Get another pump going. Nice, we hit level 3. We can go add some more stuff there. Now that we hit level 3 with our park, let's see what else we can add in here. Let's see if we have now another little lookout tower. We can kind of do that maybe down here. Yep, now we just need to wait for more visitors, so that's quickly leveling up. This is going to be a busier corridor now, so we might do another little sunken. Let's do that real fast. Let's do a little sunken. And fantastic, we're really close to our last milestone, big city. Everything's upgrading good. I'm pretty happy with where we're at in levels. It looks like we might need some more residential, but I'm not too worried about that, only because we're going to start to build out our whole downtown and get really high density and lots of residential over there. So I think our next episode is going to really be focused on our downtown and getting a lot of tourism and high density and working maybe a few different districts around there. Get that going with some public transportation as well. We might start on the airport. I'm not quite sure if I want to do that just yet. I don't know if we have the demand for it just yet, but we might start working on an airport there. I think for sure we want to buy this tile when we get to big city, because once we buy this tile, we can fix a lot of this highway network. I think we're going to need another interchange right in here to be able to get off and on. And then we can also extend some of suburbia over to this lake and this pond area. And that will be a fantastic spot for us to keep focusing on. So yeah, I think next episode, focus on downtown and more suburbia sprawl. But other than this, our city's starting to come together really nicely. I think there's really awesomeness to it, and there's a lot more we can keep doing to keep building up our city. And there you have it, another episode of Vanilla Vista in the books. A huge shout out and hearty thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in and joining me on the city building journey. Your support means the world to me, and I'm thrilled to have you along for the ride. If you're hungry for more city building content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss the upcoming episodes that are sure to be filled with even more expansion and growth. Also, stay connected with me on social media to get behind the scenes glimpse, updates, and even maybe a sneak peek of what's in store for the next episode. I also have an active Discord community that I'd love for you to join to share your own builds, thoughts, and ideas for future episodes. Until next time, keep those creative juices flowing and keep those cities thriving. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.